Now, Campaign for Democratic and Workers' Rights, CDWR, has called on Organised Labour to immediately mobilise and declare a nationwide strike over the minimum wage and the recent hike in electricity tariff. Now, according to them, the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, as the next step in the minimum wage struggle, should declare and mobilise widely for a 48-hour general strike and mass protest to demand the minimum wage not less than 200,000 naira and the reversal of all anti-poor policies, privatization, deregulation, subsidy removal, electricity tariff hike, and all of that. In a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Chinedu, okay, now that is actually what they have asked the Labour to do. Go on another, in fact, nationwide strike concerning electricity tariff, the minimum wage, and they're still sticking their feet, standing their ground on 200,000 naira.
The strike is on already. What Labour just did was to suspend the strike. The strike has not been called off. So going for another strike for me is like sounding like a broken record. I'm aware that Labour is on strike, only that the strike was suspended. Now, for what they've told us, both on the part of Labour and the part of the government, that they are still negotiating, that the committee, they call the tripartite committee, is still having discussion.
Negotiating on the minimum wage?
Yes.
We haven't heard anything.
No, the last time we had, good. Now, that is another kettle of fish. That is why, like I've said on various media, that a lot of things that Labour need to agitate for. Electricity tariff is one. Our industries, refineries that has become an unending issue, is on. The issue of housing is on. A lot of things, but it has to be itemized so that you have to now start addressing it on a scale of preference. If Labour, they are talking about wages and salary, they are well within their rights to do so. But I would equally want Labour to place it side by side with some of these things they just mentioned. Because if you are giving 200,000 and we still operate the system that we are in today, we are still meant to experience this kind of inflation we are experiencing today.
These things. We're wondering why statements are not made concerning them. But everybody's just talking about the minimum wage. When the federal government responded, what's on the minimum wage?
Because that is what is on the front burner. I don't think I've had Labour on any occasion in recent times talked about the federal government fixing the refinery and giving them a time frame for them to do so.
How many of their demands, how many of them have even been attended to?
That is why they keep negotiating over and over again.
On minimum wage.
On minimum wage, which is still a key demand. Because, like we've said in our earlier discussion, that minimum wage is meant to be reviewed every five years. So they are well within their rights to, advocate for that. Right. But let us also look at how well would this minimum wage be able to take you home. We are talking about minimum wage. We should also be looking at a living wage. So these are the things. Labour should also place some other salient issues as they agitate for a living wage. Right. Let us not make the living wage or minimum wage, as the case may be, the sole aim of their agenda and push. Because if that is the case, it still happens to be a case of motion without movement.
Thank you so much, Mufasa Imosan, for your thoughts on the stories that we have discussed today on ATN Blue. This is where we get to wrap things up. Thank you for being a part of this amazing conversation. Do not forget that we are open for sponsorship. We are open for partnerships. Stay connected with us on all of our socials, on Facebook and YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, and X at Atlantic TV Net. And watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv.